What's going on, everybody? My name's Daniel Mikowitz, and this will be my game presentation. I just want to starting off by saying I hope everybody is staying safe. With the coronavirus still going on, my family has been affected from it, and I just pray that everybody and their loved ones are staying safe during these terrible times, and while still being able to enjoy the tail end of the summer here. So the game I decided to do for my game presentation was UFC 3. I chose this game because pretty much everybody took all the games I've been playing my whole life. Call of Duty, Madden, 2K, NHL, FIFA. Not saying I'm not a UFC guy. I've actually been getting into it a lot of recent. Um, but those are the games I've been growing up playing my whole life. UFC really has just come along newer to the world. It's been really expanding, and people have been dabbling in the UFC world, and we're truly enjoying the game. It's also a common theme we see today. All type of sports games. Really, it comes in like different versions. To me personally, I'm okay with just buying the regular $60 version every time. As you can see on the left, I chose Xbox obviously because I'm an Xbox guy over a PS4. Um, so to the left we have the Xbox cover, which will just be $60, and you just get the game by itself. In the middle is the deluxe version, which comes with like a few legacy players such as Bruce Lee. I think Dana White himself is in it, and Chuck Liddell. And then some Tito Ortiz, some older guys as well that were in the UFC before the UFC grew to the name it has today. And then to the all the way to the right is the championship edition, same cover as the deluxe version, and in the championship edition, you get those characters, and then you also unlock like coins for your career guy that you could do career. And you also get stuff to like open packs if you're starting a league and stuff like that that the other features in the game has. And one thing that I find pretty funny with the covers that just with the regular cover you're gonna get Conor McGregor with no belts, but people will spend more money on the deluxe and championship version just to see Conor McGregor hold his two belts. I find it pretty hysterical, but hey, people are willing to spend the money just for a couple other guys and to see two belts. So the history of UFC 3, it's a as I said before, UFC is a new sport on the rise. It's been around for a while now, but it's just starting to get the recognition that it's been deserved of Dana White's hard work of building up this league. Um, the first UFC video game was released in 2000 in the picture above. It was called the Ultimate Fighting Championship. It came out on PlayStation 2. Just seeing that PlayStation 2 logo brings back memories, but as I'll show you in a video a little later on, the graphics were just truly something unbelievable compared to today. It's amazing to see how far the game has come. At first, there was a drama issue with the publishment of the video game. Dana White was trying to get the UFC to have a video game for quite some time, and he was getting denied pretty much by Electronic Arts, which we all know is like EA Sports. When they say EA Sports, it's in the game. That's the company. They really didn't think the UFC was anything serious. They kind of saw it as Dana White just trying to build up a new sport, but ultimately it would fail. Dana White had a TV show actually called The Ultimate Fighter, where he takes young fighters to come compete on this TV show where they're all staying in the house and they'll be competing against each other, which off the bat really doesn't sound like a great idea. Obviously, the TV show had some flaws and raised some red flags, and EA kind of just saw it as a big joke, and they were like, "Hey, listen, you can't control them in your own league. Like this might not this might not plan out. Like it ended up looking like everything was going to fall through. Dana White ultimately brought the game to THQ, and THQ was gave it a try. Just published about 2 million copies, and they went within, really quick. People loved the game. People loved the fighting aspect of a video game and how it was rated teen. And THQ was really to thank for the come up of the UFC in video games. So here I'm gonna just show quick videos on the evolution and some basic controls in UFC as well. Unfortunately, I cannot show you my me playing the game due to the fact I don't have my Xbox with me. It's actually at my beach house. But I have a broken controller here that I can show you the controls during the video. So it's not just you're watching a video of somebody playing the game the whole time. Here's the first video. Come on now. Come on now. There we go. So as you can see in 2020, this is the first one ever released. You really poor graphics, but I mean, this is what we grew up on. People, our older siblings as well. I could say throughout the years, it definitely gets a little better. Like here, you could establish more like fluent kicking, it looks like takedowns. You get the cage with the view of the camera. So things are starting to become more realistic because, things we would watch on TV. Different camera angles definitely help. This is now 2002. Oof. This is 2003. You could even see it in the background, really, the graphics itself. But we should still see the jolting of the head, stuff like that. That's just really kind of a little exaggerated to a point. This game's also a little gory. I probably should have said that in the beginning with the amount of blood you see and stuff like that. But once again, it's part of the game. There's blood in every sport, so that's why it's rated T for a reason. 13 and up. So we don't see any younger children really buying it. This is where we really see the game starting to come into its own. The fatigue, the different colors, you're feeling your guy more. You're feeling your character. You feel like you have more control of him. This is Brock Lesnar on the left. Joe Rogan, also a famous announcer in the background. So this is really when we start to see the game lift off. And, this is even when you could say UFC really built its name right here in UFC 2009, Undisputed. You have guys like Brock Lesnar, Tito Ortiz still in the UFC. Yeah, this was definitely a big time for moment for the UFC. I'm just gonna fast forward here a little more. This is in 2011. They really upped their game up more. It was the first one where you were able to make a guy and go through kind of like a road to glory thing. Build your name up. You're on like underground fighting, and then you work your guy up into obviously championship level. I thought it was pretty unique. I think every sports game has that aspect, and UFC was one of them that really never had it, and that's what they were getting criticized for. Um, and even when they made it, they're still getting criticized as not realistic, blah blah blah. And you could, well, as we'll see in these videos, they take it to a next step. The different stuff you're able to do with your guy and all that. So now we are in 2012. Fast forward a little bit. 2014. This is the this is the first UFC, the UFC series of the video game. We have UFC, UFC 2, and then the game I'm doing my presentation on, UFC 3. This is the first one of that series. Now we're on to UFC 2. You really just start to see how much the game has improved, how smooth it is, and everything. Oof, wow, that's brutal. Um, yeah, this is. I don't really know what these characters are, but oh, these are the created guys. So you could really make your guy into like a superhero almost with all these tattoos and such, and you could really make them anything you want to be within the guidelines of the rule of the game. This is personally my favorite UFC, UFC 2. It just happens to be so old, but it was definitely one of the greatest games when it came out at the time. Now we are on to UFC 3. Um, Diff brought, as you can see on the bottom, brought all types of new gameplays. Um, they really aimed for more fluid, striking and movement with that through the cage. To be honest with you, the game takes some really getting to used to. Base the different controls have changed, and we can actually go to those right now. Video and basic controls. We won't overhear them talk. I'll do it on my controller, my broken controller I have here, so we don't have to listen to somebody on YouTube talk over us. I'm sorry for my slow computer. Um, my mom told me I have to graduate to get a new one. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, they're just really trying to feel themselves out. They should start punching and kicking real soon, just to feel them out. This is like a practice mode. I'm using an Xbox controller here, and this is actually the first UFC where they decided to really change around the controls a bit. For the first time, as you can see here, the A and the B button will be used for your arms, your different left and right arms to punch to punch, and then the X and the Y on the left side by your thumb are used for kicks. So they actually just categorized it right then and there for you, just like the left and right's easy 1-2 kicks. I think that's pretty simple. It makes the game a lot easier. You would move around with this left stick here, right here to move. This right here would be to dodge some punches. As you can see here, the guys playing no defense, so they're trying to figure out their defense really. And which I find pretty easy about the game is the defense is all right here on your triggers and whatnot. You could use the bumpers right here, RB and LB, to protect your face, so you don't start bleeding up throughout the game. And then these triggers right here are used to cover the body right here, as we can see. These really getting hit on the body, that'll lead your guy to get tired real quick and, you lose the fight. So to protect your body, we want to use those. And it's really important as much in the game to play offense as it is to play defense. People really forget that. Um, and that's it. We could stay tuned for part 2.